Hi, I'm Jane. I'm a social worker and a yoga facilitator, and this morning I'm inspired to share a third teaching on boundaries. So, welcome to this present moment. Let's take a breath together through the nose. Hold it at the top if you can for 2. Blow out through the mouth for 6. We start with breath because the breath is the initiator of managing our nervous system. You want to find your regulated breath. I introduced the teaching of in for 4, hold for 2, and out for 6 as a template for you to consider in your world. We extend the exhale to initiate the parasympathetic tone in the nervous system, which is, I'm safe right now, I'm okay. It's okay to take a deep breath and let it go. So welcome to this present moment. The question that I was asked about boundaries, and in that regard I'm offering a third teaching, was how to work with complex emotions of guilt, work with the concept of courage in the context of disappointing the other. What a universal challenge to negotiate our boundaries. So boundaries are negotiated with self. For instance, am I resting or am I just plowing through with work all the time? That's a boundary, a self-violation boundary, if you will, and you want to be considering that. Boundaries with self-other is an interesting dynamic because we often think about the other before we think about ourselves, and the suffering rises. So let's talk about guilt. Psychoeducation on guilt is that it is a complex emotion, and we do have another video on the channel on guilt. This is a refresher. Guilt is a complex emotion, which means it is involved with a thought process an evaluation process, which is saying what you're doing is wrong, and so you should feel guilty. So it is always our job to become the observer. I use this back here to say observe your experience and begin to develop the synapses in the brain to be able to say, is it true? So I thought I'd make a little dialogue with guilt so you could understand, what is this complex emotion? So I'm going to try this out. As I sit here as Jane, I'm going to engage with guilt with this hat. So you'll notice when I put the hat on, I'm acting as guilt. So the first thing I'm going to do when I get an experience of guilt and I observe, wow, I'm feeling guilty, I welcome guilt to the table for tea. Guilt, what are you here to tell me or teach me once again? Dude, you got to do for other people. What if they don't like you? What if you disappoint them? What if you let them down? You know you're here to serve others. You know you're here to make everything good. You know you're here to be perfect. Dude, you should feel guilty, because if you don't feel me, you won't do anything different. Do something different, or else I am staying here. But guilt, I think I've made the right decision. I think what I'm doing is taking care of myself. I think that I am serving others, but in a way that is managed and responsive, meaning I'm thinking about how I'm serving others. I'm not just reacting and serving others to burn out. Can you please understand that? Are you telling me that you've got this? That you want to let me go because you really do know what you're doing here? Yes, guilt. I've got this. So can you trust me in each given moment to decide if I want to do more or less? Because that's trusting me, and then I could let you go when you come up again. You know what? I'm all in. I don't really want to be here either. I'm only here as a teacher for you to make sure you're doing your self-evaluation. The more and more I see you having agency or power in your decision making, the less you're going to have to deal with me. Thank you, guilt. Thank you for trusting me. Now, my friends, this is courage. This is courage. Is it not going to be a process of figuring out how to tap into your courage? Of course it's going to be a process, because For the rest of our lives, we are going to have to make decisions, and we're not always going to get it right. I'm learning that what people like best about this is they want to see the humanity in it. I F up all the time. The teaching here is, can we make a mistake, honor our humanity, and then figure out how to pivot so we do better next time? You know, success is just getting up one more time and getting it right. So join me on this journey of figuring out how to tap into our courage. A final thought. You know, all of us want to be liked. All of us want to, be a hero, if you will. Be a hero in your own life, or a shiro or a thero. Be a hero in your own life. Not selfishly, but full of self, so that you can know when you are overextending or even underextending. We are taught by some of our parents, for instance, have you heard, I've taken care of 10 children and now no one can take care of me. And there's this guilt introject. That guilt introject, there could be some truth to it. It could be that I'm not paying attention in the ways that I want to. What are your values, my friend? If your values are to be a kind and loving person, which most of us, dare I say all of us, well, maybe most of us, that are, we are all wired to connect and we want to do good in the world. And two things are true. I want to do good in the world and I don't want to burn myself out. So tap into your courage as you straighten your spine, bring your hands to heart and belly, and ask the universe to help you make this decision. Ask guilt to step aside as you trust that you're navigating each decision, one decision at a time, the best way that you can. There is no such thing as perfection. Communicate. Say, I want to do this for you, but I'm so very tired. Let's do it tomorrow or the next day. Or to somebody who you know you are over-serving because you want for them to tap into their own capacity, you invite somebody to get the services of a professional. You are not their professional. You encourage you to say, I trust that you can figure this out. If you don't, you might say the first thing, get the services of somebody that can help you figure it out. It isn't your responsibility. Thank you, my friends, for trusting me. I'm going to bring my hands together, my thumbs to sternum. I'm raising my elbows. Let's take another deep breath in together as we wear the hat of courage to step into our lives the best that we can. Namaste, my friends. Have a wonderful day.